Hey guys, how are you doing today? Happy Saturday. It is Saturday. It's really nice here in St. Louis. I hope the weather is nice for you wherever you are. I'm on TikTok Live if you're watching this on YouTube. How are you doing? Feel free to like, share, subscribe if you like content on dating and communicating. Today I wanted to touch more on communicating. Communicating is probably one of my favorite subjects to discuss with individuals who actually have an educated mind, a rational mind, a mind that has had experiences, who have learned from their communication flaws, and so on and so forth. And so I wanted to talk about communicating. So I wrote down three things when it comes to communicating, because you want to understand, number one, when you're dating, because that's what we're going to focus on. We're not going to focus on like your dating, like your relationships at work or anything outside of romance. So when you're dating, first you want to get to know what kind of communicator you are. And a lot of people are unaware of what kind of communicator they are. And I think, in my opinion, right now, what we need more than ever is great communication skills. Now, of course, if you have not studied communication, if you actually believe you're a good communicator, then you could be wrong. So you want to ask someone that you trust, someone that knows you from front to back, someone that's going to give you honest feedback. You want to ask them, what kind of communicator am I? And if you have had a previous pattern of dating guys who have told you, I don't like your communication style, you yell, you're irrational, you lead with emotion, you'll say anything. If you are a communicator that will literally say anything, then that is probably one of the worst case scenarios when we're talking about communicating. You never want to lead with emotion, because what is emotions? Emotions mean you're up, down, and you're all around. Let's just say that's why they call it an emotional. Y'all coming in here with these hearts, honey. Thank you. Let's just say you're an emotional roller coaster. Well, what does a roller coaster do? It goes up, it goes down, it goes all around. So you never want to be in a position to where you're communicating with someone and your communication style is up, down, and all around. So the first tip for you to do when you want to spiffy up, what does spiffy mean? When you want to when you want to polish your communication skills, is pay attention to yourself when you're speaking. Literally listen to yourself. You'll be surprised how many people don't listen to the words that come out of their mouths. I see every day, because I watch court TV like Judge Mathis, Judge Million, divorce court, couples court. Who's another one? I'm missing somebody. Judge Mathis. I watch a lot of court TV because I'm looking at people's patterns. And one thing's for certain, I could not be a judge, because these judges be asking direct, cut and dry questions. And a lot of these people that be in court, whether they suing or getting sued, they will go all around the bush, tell a story that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, deflect, and downright just not answer the question. I can't stand that kind of communicator. I cannot stand. The number one communicator that I cannot stand is someone who does not give you a direct response and answers. Those are by far the worst communicators, and I stay away from people like that, because you're not going to get my blood boiling, because there's no reason for it, but it is annoying. So if you're that kind of communicator and you know who you are, but sometimes you might be oblivious, you might not be in the know of who you really are, and you're just out of the loop about your own self. That can happen. However, just start paying attention to yourself when you're engaging. My foot is going to sleep. When you're engaging with your friends, do you have a tendency to make the conversation all about you? Do you cut people off? Bad communication. One thing I used to do when I used to be a not so good communicator is I would cut people off because I thought I knew what they were about to say. So that's just rude. Don't be a rude communicator. And I used to be gal pals with this girl who, every time you would say something, you're in the middle of your conversation, she would literally say, hey, get to the point, get to the point. And that's rude, right? It's rude for someone that you're hanging around with, specifically if you're dating this person and you're in the middle of the story and you're literally just chilling. Don't nobody got to be nowhere. Ain't nobody in a rush to go anywhere. And then they just say, get to the point. That's totally rude. If you're doing that, that's rude as well. So don't be that kind of communicator. For me, how I recognized that my communication skills weren't great is, I think I actually just started listening to myself, and I just became self-aware. Excuse me, I burped. Guys, I did not mean to burp. I'm drinking lemon water and I just burped. Maybe y'all didn't hear that. I hope you didn't, because that was rude. But anyway, sorry. So I realized I just started paying attention to myself, and then I kind of reeled it in, and now I no longer, it's every blue moon I might cut in on somebody, but still at the end of the day, you want people to have a complete and finish their thoughts and then you want to take it all in, and then you want to let it go through your brain, filter it, let it sink in, and then respond. Of course, that process isn't going to take all day, but I'm in League D2. What is that? What is League D2? TikTok just told me I'm in League D2. I don't even know what that means. But anyway, welcome to League D2. So yeah, anyway, so back to the communication. You want to find out what kind of communicator you are. If you're not sure, you want to ask someone that you trust, someone that has an unbiased opinion about you, someone that knows you personally, and someone that actually wants to offer constructive criticism. Because if you don't know what kind of communicator you are, then how are you going to know what kind of communicator you want? And then on the flip side, you can say, if you do know what kind of communicator you want, then you must become that as well. Why? Because like attracts like. All right. So that was the first one. What kind of communicator you are. Now we're going to do number 2, which is real popular and not in a good way. It's real popular in the community of women. A lot of women are scared to use their voice, are scared to communicate. I used to be one of these women, probably back in like college. I remember specifically the guys I were dating back then. I would not use my voice to save my life. And I know y'all, whoever's been watching me and following me, probably just in one video, you'll be like, well, how is that possible, B. Wiley? Like, you use your voice, I'm usually a straight up not usually, I am a straight up person. If I got something to say, I'm going to say it in a respectful manner, of course. However, back then, I would see something and I wouldn't say anything. I was just, I don't know. I don't know. I was scared to use my voice. And if you're in this situation, and a lot of my clients that come to me, usually they're in their mid 20s and they're dating. They don't know how to use their voice. They're afraid to use their voice, and they're scared of the consequences when it comes to using their voice. And that is a problem, because if you don't use your voice, you could clearly, I'm telling you, you can get steamrolled by guys when you're dating, because they're going to test you. A lot of guys, it's a thing to test the girl for whatever reasons. I'm not a dude. I don't know why tests are being thrown out there. This ain't high school. This ain't college. But whatever. You got to pass the bar with some of these dudes in order for them to see if you're worthy, or if, hell, you're not trying to pull over the wool over their eyes. So I get it but just don't be tested in a disrespectful way is all I'm saying. People have to do their own thing, to guard their hearts, to be cautious, to proceed with caution. And that involves tests from dudes. Even quality men will test a woman, and it is what it is. So back to your voice. If you're in a situation and you're dating this guy and he's doing something that's red flaggy, you want to definitely address it. And how do you do that? And what you don't do, and this really gets on my nerves, this is right under the person who won't answer direct question. The second thing is in line is people who have an issue with their partner that they're dating, and then they avoid talking about it because they use this word. Here it comes. Because they're not confrontational. I can't stand that word. Anytime I hear someone avoid or say they're avoiding something because they're not confrontational, I literally want to take this hand right here, my good hand, and I want to slap the taste out their mouth every time I hear it. Because since when is inquiring about an issue with someone you like and they like you, since when is that a confrontation? Now, if it's a confrontation, it's because of your energy, your tone, your delivery, your body language. Now, if you have a question, why should that then be confrontational? So if you're used to saying that to yourself or to your friends, you're not confrontational, I want you to stop. And if you don't, I want you to slap the taste out of your own mouth, because you heard it from me first. When you're inquiring, when you're asking, that's getting information. That's not a confrontation. Specifically, if it's just like, well, what happened to you last night? We're supposed to go out to dinner. Not sure what happened. That's a question. That doesn't involve a confrontation. You're literally inquiring. And if you must feel like you got to confront someone and everything is a battle and it's a fight, and that's toxic. That's toxic. Because if you feel like you have to lead with anger, and there we go with the other word, emotions, then hey, you got to reel it back in and think about it. Why am I this kind of high stress kind of communicator? And what does that do for me? Am I getting the answers I want when I lead in a confrontational, aggressive way? Or does the person back off and not talk to me? Does he go silent? Does his mouth go mute when I address him? I think I'm addressing it, but I'm actually being confrontational. So using your voice does not mean you're confrontational. It just means you're an emotional, intelligent human who does not make assumptions about anything, and you're asking about something so we can get the problem resolved, whatever that problem is, or so we can crush this conflict and move beyond it and go on about our days and or our lives. All right. So that's number two. The first one again was what kind of communicator you are. Find that out. And the second is don't be scared to communicate. Now the last one is when you have an issue. A lot of dudes do this. How do I know? Because every time I talk about it, the views are super high. Is a silent treatment, and women can do the same thing. But it may really. I'm sitting right in front of my patio. That looks like FedEx. Why he's blowing his horn, I don't know. But anyway, so another thing that women may do when dating is you'll give the dude the cold shoulder. So it's not necessarily the silent treatment. You're giving him the cold shoulder. Like the silent treatment is the man mouth goes mute. He ain't saying jack squat. He's like totally disengaged. However, when the cold shoulder, when it comes to the lady, she'll say something. Like we'll say something, but I say we because I'm a woman. But me, I don't give nobody no cold shoulder. I'm gonna let you know what it is. If you got you ain't gonna have to ask, and I'm gonna let you know. Hey, but a lot of women, you'll give them the cold shoulder, and what that looks like is you will engage, but you're giving short, brash, off-putting answers, and it's not resolving anything. And I want to ask you. And a lot of women will do this to be petty, and I don't like that word. Being petty for what? And like I said, unless it's fun and games, or being petty. But if you're being petty trying to hurt somebody or prove a point, that's just stupid. And I think that's toxic, and I think that's a red flag if you're doing that. So, and hey, you don't have to go off what I think. You don't have to go off what I believe. But if you're here watching me, you're watching me for a reason, right? Right. So, all right. So when it comes to giving the cold shoulder, you have to ask yourself, how am I benefiting from giving this dude that I said that I like, that pursued me, that's being respectful, that is open with me? How am I benefiting from giving him the cold shoulder? Like, what is that doing for me? What is that doing for our dating situation? Like, what is that doing for the universe? And you're probably going to get the answer absolutely nothing, unless you're not emotionally intelligent enough and mature enough to realize that playing these games that I talked about in yesterday's video, like playing these like dating games, aren't going to get you anywhere. Because if you want to play games and you go back to school, you get out in the field, play some ball, play some kickball, baseball, play some trouble, play some Uno. But when it comes to being adult and a part of adulting and dating, because you said that's what you want to do. You say you want to be pursued. You say you want to get your butt off the couch and out the house, and now you got a dude, and now you being petty, playing these games, not using your voice, going out of your way to give him the cold shoulder. Like, sis, let's make it make sense. Because right now we're not making sense. And that's the conversation you need to have with yourself. Sometimes, even when you're in your emotions and your feelings, because we all have emotions, but you need to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, remember when? Remember when we were on the couch and we didn't have a date and the phone was dry? Remember when we didn't have anybody who was interested? And now that we do, and he's all in, and we know he's all in, we just hitting a bump in the road, and I'm trying to act a fool low key. Why would I do that to myself? Do I want to go back outside? No, I don't, because it is polluted and it is struggle zone out there. We don't want to go back there. And that's the kind of conversation you need to have with yourself, to talk some sense into yourself, so you don't revert to being petty, or so you don't be childish, or so you won't act immature when it comes to communicating. And outside of that, to me, communicating is one of my favorite things to do, because that's how you learn a person. Now, a person can tell you anything. Of course they can. But I mean, when you actually know this person, you've been dating for a while. My foot is going back to sleep. When you've been, my foot is sleeping. When you're dating this person, you know this person. Ow. Okay, I'm really low now. Let me. When you're dating this person, you know this person. It is okay to just be open. And if you can't be open when you communicate, then you have to question, why is that? Why don't I feel that I can be open? I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Why do I feel like I can't be open and vulnerable with this person that I'm choosing to engage with, that I'm choosing to entertain, that I'm choosing to spend my time with, and that I'm allowing them in my space and in my area and in my house, and that I'm actually investing my time in? So these are questions that need to have answers. And if, like I said, if you aren't the best communicator, it's not saying you're purposely being a bad communicator, but if you aren't the best kind of communicator, it is a-okay to invest in yourself. There are so many things on YouTube, so many books you can read. audiobooks you can listen to, tips you can pick up. You can just actually listen to other people communicate and pick up on the ways they communicate and then practice it and put it out there, and you can become a better communicator. Because without communication in the long run, when you're in these relationships and you're dating a person in the long term, in the long run, let's say 10, 20 years, 40 years, 80 years, however old you are right now, from then, you have to wonder, what are we going to, what is the boat going to float on? What is the relationship dating boat going to float on? Because it's showing sex. It can't be that. It's not lust. It's not that. It's not looks. It's not money. It's not the house. It's not the car. It's not the job. It's two people being in a room with each other, not tolerating each other, but actually liking each other and enjoying each other, and just talking about a bunch of nothing one time and going very deep, deep down in your feelings, being emotionally available majority of the time. And if you're unwilling to do that, then you shouldn't be out here in these streets dating with the intentions to be with anyone. If you know yourself, you're a bad communicator, you're not trying to change it, you don't want to be by yourself, you're just dating to pass the time, or if you're dating because you know it's warming up outside, or if you just want to be seen, or if you just want some attention, or you just want your phone to ring, or just want to make somebody jealous on social media, if you just want to post somebody on social media, or you're just trying to get over the ex by getting under the next, all that stuff is toxic and you're a red flag. If you're doing any of that, deal with your mess. And while you're dealing with it, get yourself together. Work on your 3 S's: self-care, self-development, self-reliance. It's in my stand store, link in my bio. Buy that book so you can work on yourself, master who you are, and specifically understand how to communicate with your mate. That too is on sale in my stand store. That's another ebook you can get. Hey, and another thing you can get for the free is 5 steps on how to avoid Mr. Time Waster. So if you're sick of dating Mr. Waste Your Time, then you definitely want to go into my link in my bio. It's here on TikTok. It's here on YouTube. There is a free guide for you. Free, free, free. You go in there, you download it. It will give you 5 steps on how to improve your dating skills and how to avoid Mr. Wrong, because y'all continue to date Mr. Wrong and then be in my videos asking me questions and commenting on my videos like, what am I doing? I don't know what's going on. And I put the videos out here for you guys. They're free. This video is free. I got thousands of other videos out there are free. There's a free ebook in my link. Like, I'm giving y'all the stuff, but your head is like a rock. Don't have a rock head. Soften that rock and start listening and soaking in the information so you can be the quality woman that can attract the quality man that you want and understand how to communicate all the way through. It was a quick video today. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for the love, for the hearts. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Outside of that, I think we're done. I just wanted to give y'all a quick video so y'all can get back to your afternoon. It's really nice out here. Hope you have a good Easter tomorrow. I'll probably come on here again tomorrow for Easter. Outside of that, guys, enjoy your Saturday. Talk to you later.